So this is going to be a event diary for Harmonic Convergence. So the idea of an event diary is that I'm just going to talk about things I liked and didn't like about the event that I was just at, or like, so these would preferably come out like, they'd be made a few days after an event, so I'd have a recollection of the event and could like remember what I liked and didn't like, good things that happened, bad things that happened, and just all that jazz. So this was going to be for Harmonic Convergence 5. It's 2019. It's 2019, guys. This event was a few weeks ago, and big things that come to my mind when I think of Harmonic Convergence was the fighting on the field, as far as like fighters that were out and stuff like that, was really top notch. Like, I had fun fighting the entire day. I fought the whole day Florentine and did awesome work. It was so fun to flank and just like back entire lines. Really good stuff there. But honestly, even when like I wasn't like demolishing a whole line and I was like actually engaging like in 1v1s or 2v1s with people, I felt really like the fighting was really top notch, which was really nice. It's really nice to like get out there and fight some really good fighters, and like there was really good sportsmanship on the field. Everyone was having a really good time. Things I didn't like about the battles were, I feel like on paper a lot of them were really well thought out, and then the execution problem I saw was that we couldn't tell where like lines and stuff were. So like they did spray paint on the field to like mark bridges and stuff, which is really good if you have like weird designs for your field battles, which they did. They had like a three bridge setup, but all three bridges were based off of one center platform. And so the left side was no bridge, and the right side had a bridge into the center bridge. Kind of weird. If you can look up on the event page what the battles were. I might post them below or something, or post them in the comments if you want to look at what I'm talking about. But the scenario was really fun, but common thing I saw with a lot of people were, where are the lines? Where's the bridge start? Where's the chasm start? And so like, I know I was running with Rintalk at some point. I was, Rintalk, follow me, we're gonna go through and then take a right, and we're gonna like flank this whole back line. And Rintalk was like, I have to follow you because I can't see the lines. And I'm like, no, just follow me, we're gonna, but I don't know where the chasm is. If you step off, you're dead. It's a bottomless chasm. And so we're just sitting there like, okay, I guess we're running here, and hopefully Rintalk doesn't step off the edge. And I also know another scenario that happened with that was that I backed a line, and if I could have probably seen the chasm, I feel like I could have probably stopped. Maybe not. I'll give you that. Maybe I could not have. But I got to I backed this whole line, and I was like, yeah, I did it! And then I ran right into the chasm, and I didn't even see it. I stepped, and I was like ready to go fight more people, and then someone looked at me and went, hey Rin, you stepped in the chasm. And I was like, oh. And then I went and respawned, which is like fine, so it's not like that big of a deal, but it's just like kind of one of those things that like, I feel like it would have been better accomplished if they had used either like a yellow rope or a orange, or not even blue, I'd probably say orange field paint. I don't know if they used spray paint or white field paint. They maybe could have done another layer of white field paint, and that would have like made it stand out more. But for the first two battles, it made it really hard to find out where things were, like as far as like the terrain went, which is like kind of a big deal when you're doing big battles like that with a lot of people. Like, you want to know where you're allowed to be and where you're stepping. Pretty sure I jumped into the chasm multiple times on accident, and it was just like, oh, whatever. So it wasn't that bad. The third battle went a lot smoother with they had cones out for where the lines were. I don't think the third battle was a great battle, but like the lines were more well defined. I also didn't fight in that one. I heralded for it, so I don't know if someone fought in that battle and they have a recollection of why it was good, better, and different. Let me know. But from my perspective, it looked like the battle itself was okay, just like the terrain wasn't overly utilized and it was kind of meh. So that's what it looked like to me anyway. So after that, I think there was like an Evermore, which was okay. I was really beat at that point, and I also knew I had a task thing I had to do for Imperial Guard stuff. So that's the next thing we'll get into. Is so since I fought Florentine the whole day, and I was really feeling that two-stick life, I was like, okay, let's do, so there's a task. So if you don't know this about Imperial Guard stuff, we have a whole task book for a lot of weapon styles, and they're how we do our ranking system. It's yada yada unit BS. It's fine. We like it, we have fun. If you're like, that's stupid, that's fine. My knight literally says, why do you base your entire ranking system off of Xbox achievements? And I laugh, but it's still fun, and we still do them, and it's a good time. So one of them for Florentine is I need to fight a red sword, a polearm, or a red sword, a spear, and a tower shield, each for 30 minutes. So it's like an hour and a half of fighting overall, but it's like kind of an endurance test because you just have to keep fighting. And so like, when I read that task, I was like, who even uses a tower shield in the game anymore? Like, because if you think about it, I can maybe think of like 2 or 3 people who still consistently use a tower shield. And some of them are pretty good, and other ones are just like, yeah, they're okay. Like, they're good fighters. They're just not like, if I'm doing a task to improve myself, they maybe aren't the people I'd pick. But so as I'm sitting there, as I'm like thinking, oh, I want to do this task, maybe I'll just do my spear with Riot, and we'll get that one done, and we'll get the other one later. Asashi shows up at Harmonic. I did not realize he was coming, and I was like, oh, that's a decent tower shield that's still in the game. We're gonna fight with him. So we did 30 minutes, me and Asashi, which was really good. Like, I think overall, like, I didn't keep count of 30 minutes of battles. I didn't. Definitely did not happen. But I'd say, look, it felt like we were going pretty 50-50, if not me 60-40. And I think the majority of the reason for that we discussed afterwards was that Asashi, when he is more used to fighting on lines and stuff, and I like to do tourney fighting and skirmish fighting, and so I like fighting 1v1s and everything. But the big deal with that is like Asashi is usually wearing full armor, and he's usually baiting out shots for his team. So he's sitting there taking shots so that other people can take shots. So his mentality has to change, and then every time he threw a shot, he's expecting either get a kill shot or to take my arm, and then I stop. But I don't stop. So I would go in with my Florentine, throw my shots, and when he take my left arm, I'm still gonna throw my right arm shot, because there's no reason not to throw. Like, my arm isn't a death. We're still throwing shots. So it was just really easy to like bombard on his defense and then take a limb and take him down, which is something you can do when you're fighting 1v1s, because it's not as critical that you keep all of your limbs at the end of the fight. After that endurance test, I was extremely exhausted and very tired. And I know we went to go do nightlife, and there were like games and stuff. I missed tournaments. Foxy and Ronin won the Double Dragon, which is something I wanted to compete in. But like, so I want to compete in a 2-man tournament with Caldos, because he my battle buddy and stuff. But like, I'm pretty sure the Double Dragon was random partners. I might have to confirm that was the case, but like, so we wanted to do it, but also like we wanted to do it together, so there was no guarantee of that. So we ended up not doing it, and I did my task instead, which I don't regret doing. It's just kind of like, oh no, I missed tournament, it's sad. Which, another criticism for tournaments, not that I don't know anything about how the tournaments were ran themselves, like after tournaments started, but I felt like it took a long time for them to get started up. Like when I started, so I had that 30-minute task. And when I started that 30-minute task, they were like, we're calling all fighters to tournaments. And I was like, okay, fair, like, you should be calling that. And then when I finished my 30 minutes with this task, with Asashi, I heard, tournaments are starting now! And I'm like, didn't you say that literally 30 minutes ago? So it's just kind of like, making sure that at events when you start announcing your stuff, you get started underway, don't have signups going on for like, the whole like, 30 minutes before it even starts. Just like, people want to participate, they could make it out to tournaments. I also understand like with heat, can like give it a bit of time. I just think 30 minutes is excessive. So overall, amazing event. I had a great time fighting. Nightlife was really fun. Got to hang out with a bunch of my friends. The pavilion at Harmonic is always it's a huge pavilion. They put a bunch of picnic tables under it. It's a really nice space to just like sit and be with people. I think me and Phelps and Kat talked for a few hours. I think it felt more engaged than it probably was, because I was really tired, so any amount of interaction was a lot of interaction. So Phelps, Kat, I love you both. You're amazing. And thank you for sitting and talking with me for the whole night. Because it was awesome and I had a great time. And it's always good to see you guys. Oh, that's another thing that happened. Me and Phelps and Gibbons did like Florentine's... Why? Why did I do that? Me, Phelps, and Gibbons did Florentine Winter Stays In, which was really fun. Because, I don't know, I feel like you don't get to fight people with Florentine a lot. Like Florentine versus Florentine. At least not on the field. Definitely sometimes like at practices and stuff, me and Rentalk have done it. Caldos has done it, but Caldos down sticks because he wants to get used to that. Fine, Caldos, fine. But, so me, Phelps, and Gibbons did it. I haven't got to fight Gibbons Florentine versus Florentine in a long time. And I kind of figured out a few things like the whole thing where you put your offhand over your front hand thing they talk about in SKBC videos all the time. That finally kind of clicked like where that defense came from. And then fighting Draven yesterday, I totally overcompensated it. But like a few things clicked, which was really nice, and it was really fun to fight with them and like get some more Florentine fighting in. So yeah, I think that was all the main stuff about Harmonic. Yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any fun stories from Harmonic that you want to share, or things you liked or didn't like about the event, I'd love to hear them, because hearing feedback is a really good way to make sure that when you run your own events, you can improve them and make them better. So, just because I didn't have a huge hand in running Harmonic doesn't mean I can't learn from it to make things that I do run, like Siege or like Eclipse, things that my unit runs and my realm runs, make them better. So I always love hearing feedback that people have about events, things they liked, things they didn't like. So when I run my own stuff, or that when you run your own stuff, you need to like look at things that people liked and didn't like, you have somewhere to go, people to talk to, and things to like figure out. So definitely any positive or negatives about Harmonic, leave them in the comments and stuff. And yeah, you guys have a great day.